everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Creative Youth Studio. My name is Imahni King.
My name is Jada Jackson.
And we are your hosts for this week's episode.
This week's episode, we will be talking to a couple people about entrepreneurship in the arts. I don't have much experience with this, but I know Imahni does. So Imahni, take it away.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that entrepreneurship is all problem solving. And I've been doing youth theater for quite some time now, since I was 8 years old. And I started to notice a huge problem. And that problem was youth were not able to afford this pay-to-play format that a lot of youth theater companies in San Diego follow. So I talked to my mom about it, and we created a plan to make a youth theater company that is free all around, classes and production participation. So that company is now called Type A Theater Company, and if you want to learn more, go ahead and visit typeatheatercompany.org.
Yes, I remember auditioning for that theater company, and I had one of the most amazing experiences, so I definitely recommend you check it out. But for now, we will be jumping into our interviews. Our first interview is with Emily, who will be interviewing Bella Brady.
All right. Hey, everyone. So I know Bella here from La Jolla Playhouse Teen Council, but Bella, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Bella Brady. I'm currently a senior at Westview High School, and I've just been vibing for the past few months, doing all these crazy college auditions, and it's just insane.
So what about the pandemic made you want to make theater on your own?
Well, I've noticed that specifically with my high school, theater wasn't really as accessible as it's been before. It was a little harder to get involved, and I personally didn't feel comfortable going back in person, but our theater company was planning on returning in person for the musical. So I really tried advocating to make it be more inclusive, so more students who didn't really necessarily feel safe going in person could participate, but that didn't end up happening. So I was sad for a couple of weeks, but then I was like, you know what? Like, why don't I just create theater on my own? So I gathered together me and a couple of other of my friends who weren't able to do the musical as well. And I was like, hey, like, why don't we just put on the show that we didn't get to have? So we kind of brainstormed, and we all really feel super connected to Into the Woods, even though it's such a challenge with on time, first off, and then doing it online. We were like, you know what? Like, this is probably going to be the only time that we're going to like have this opportunity again. Why not just do it?
Yeah, for sure. So what was your role specifically with the show?
So I really just kicked off the idea. I am kind of producing it. I'm also partially directing and editing, and I will also be playing the witch.
That's so exciting. I can't wait to see you as the witch.
Thank you.
Entrepreneurial skills so far that have helped you in making the show happen?
Oh, organization, definitely. It has been, because I am such an organizational freak. Like, everything needs to be in like the right place. And so that has like really helped me along the way, because sometimes like it feels like there's so much to do and so much to plan. There's still so much before we even start rehearsals. But just like keeping a level head, keeping organized, and also just communicating with everyone, especially our production team. We've had a lot of meetings to discuss kind of what direction we want to go into with it and how we want to put it out.
Yeah, that's great. So what have you learned so far about making theater?
How difficult it is. I like props to anyone who just like puts on a show. I didn't know actually like how hard it was, because I'd always been on the performance side. I'd maybe directed like once or twice, like in drama class or whatever, but like that's like not the same thing. And just also the importance of like a good community and like finding your people like that will be able to work with you and support you. and just help you along the way. So just knowing that you're not alone.
That's so great. So how does it work for getting the rights and such?
Okay, we're still working on that, but we've actually had to like make our own company, which is really just making a website. And then yeah, we just like I still need to do this, but I go to the rights company and I just like I'm like, "Hey," and I fill out a form. And I didn't know how much rights costed for a show. I was a bit taken aback by that, but you know, it's cool. This is like something we all wanted to do. So we were like, okay, we're willing to like pitch in. And so yeah, so we still need to do that. But that has been it looks hopefully it looks easier. It looks as easy as it is. Hopefully there aren't too many problems. I have heard horror stories of other people trying to put on their own shows and like just dealing with these crazy companies. But hopefully it's easy.
Yeah, I can only hope. So what would you say that you've learned that's helped you as an actor from this experience and producing the show and being an entrepreneur and just kind of being on the other side of the table?
Empathy. Oh, 100% empathy. Because I'm now like looking back at like all these things that I like took for granted. Like even in elementary school, I like did like youth theater a lot, and like you know we didn't have a set, we didn't have props, we didn't have costumes. We just like had our bright spirits and like a pocket full of songs, and it was just so much fun and so joyful. And I can't imagine like how much, because it was just our one theater teacher who just put on this whole show within like probably 3 months, with like all of these like elementary school kids. And like I just admire her so much. And like especially like looking back, like wow, that must have been like a lot of work, because I know she like it wasn't just at our school, like she worked all around in our district like
Wait, did you
doing
have Miss
like all
Deirdre?
these shows at once. What?
Did you have Miss Deirdre?
No, Miss Serrano, Angie Serrano.
Oh, okay. Because like
I
I know
loved
for
her.
us, we
She
had
was
a group.
awesome.
This lady would come around and she would like go to different schools and do it. And she did the same thing you were talking about, where I was like, yeah, it's an insane amount of work to travel around and like do it for different
Mhm.
schools. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, how can the audience support this production of Into the Woods?
By coming to see it. We don't have an Instagram yet. We're still working on that, but once that is up and coming, we will start to post about dates and stuff like that, and how you can get tickets and how you can view it. You can follow my Instagram. I will post more updates. I'm at whoops.itsme. And I will post more updates there about about our company's Instagram and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, what have you decided to name this new company and how did you come up with the name?
Okay, so we were like stuck for a little bit. We were like, oh shoot, we need to like name it something. So I was like, we were thinking of like the weirdest stuff, like banana hat. Like I don't even know. But then we were thinking, I know in my film studies class, like about the time that we were thinking of doing this and like really just starting to put the idea together, we were watching La La Land. And like, you know, there's that line like a technicolor world filled with whatever it was. And so then I was like, what about like something with Technicolor? Like, and so we were like, okay, cool. And we like looked it up. No one has like stolen like Technicolor Productions yet. So we were like, let's just do that. So that's how we came up with the name Technicolor Productions.
Would you say that you have learned a lot that you intend to keep using for the rest of your theater career from this experience?
Oh yeah, like especially going into college and just like having a new experience, it is even like pushing me to maybe even find more behind the scenes work. And also just, I feel like this experience will help me understand in future productions, like on Zoom or outside of Zoom or wherever it may be, just how to work better with the production team and the crew and stuff like that. and just to know like how much they're taking on and just how much they're doing.
Do you think that it's made you want to pursue more non-acting parts of theater, or just appreciate those parts but not necessarily pursue them?
I think just appreciate it. It's like a nice experience to just try. But I don't think I will be doing this again. Maybe just like directing like little stuff like I've done before, just like a little one actor, a little scene or whatever. But nothing this big again.
Would you
This is just like a one-time thing.
To try it out?
What?
Would you encourage other people our age to try it out?
Oh yeah, I think it's like after doing this, I think it's so important to just get involved in like any like kind of technical aspect of theater, just to like see it from that perspective, because it is just entirely different and it's just a whole new world, and it's like a side of theater that you've never seen before.
Have you had any pleasant surprises come up?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Just how many people have been willing to jump on and help us. I have, even you, Emily, like it's so great to just have like all these, that's really the thing that's like pushing us forward. The production team, like just all these people that are willing to just come along for this ride with us, even though we have no clue what we're doing, and just all of my teachers who have like offered their help, and parents. It's just so great to know that there are so many people that are willing to take this journey with us.
That's really great. Well, if the audience wants to learn more about this production of Into the Woods, we'll drop your Instagram link down there in the chat for them. And we can't wait for you to see this production of Into the Woods. Thank you so much for your time, Bella.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you so much, Emily and Bella Brady, for that insightful interview.
Next, we'll be going over to Katrina, who will be interviewing Delicia Turner, who is a director as well as a co-founder of Moxie Theater, which is one of our very own local San Diego theaters.
Hello, I'm so excited. Today I'm going to be interviewing Delicia Turner Sonnenberg. Oh wait, I'm going to pause. Hello, I am so pleased to have guest Delicia Turner Sonnenberg. She is the director and former artistic director of Moxie Theater Company. Delicia, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, I was the artistic director at Moxie, and now I'm a freelance director and resident artist at the Globe, and I am a mom to August and Zoe. I took my first drama class at 13, and now I'm 50. I've never looked back. And so I've been fortunate in my life that most of my work has been in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know theater has been a little different because of COVID and doing things over Zoom, but I'm so glad that it has still continued and we have, just like you said, moved forward. So, so what made you want to found your own theater company?
When I was in college, I was on this path of like, I was thinking about directing. I always wanted to be a director, but freelancing wasn't appealing to me. I didn't want to live out of my suitcase or go gig to gig. So, and I thought, talking to some mentors, I thought, oh, if I found a theater, I could have a place to direct, but also be a part of a community. And that is why.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I have a special place for Moxie in my heart, as I've seen many shows there. And just thank you for bringing that into the world, I guess. So what was the hardest part about creating a theater company, or the biggest obstacle that you faced?
A part of it was I did two things that were smart. I bought a book called Managing a Nonprofit for the 21st Century. And read that book, and also a book called How to Incorporate in California. So the hardest part, and a lot of it was thinking through or working through how to do all the technical business parts, because you train as an artist, like acting, directing, design classes, and I hadn't taken any business classes, so and none of my co-founders had either. They were also all artists, and so sort of that self-education period. So we started talking about founding a theater a year before we actually opened a show, because we took the time to learn the things we didn't know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely something I don't even think about, the technical aspects of, maintaining a theater company. Like, I mean, good for you on learning that. This is a little like bonus question. What is your favorite show that you've ever like worked on at your theater company or freelance directed or anything like that?
Well, this is really hard because I love every show that so I have like a handful of shows that I directed. Some of my favorite shows at Moxie actually are shows that Jen directed. Like I loved Victoria Martin, Maxine Queen, and I loved In Run, and Our Lady of Cabejo. Those are three of my favorites. But Blue Door was one that Tanya Barfield's play. I loved working on it. Our very first play in Moxie's ever season, Dog Act by Liz Duffy Adams. Those come to mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you say, like the first shows that you did were special because they were the first shows, or is it because of the show itself?
Partly a little bit of both, I think. And I also, like I said, it's hard for me to pick a favorite because I loved work. That's one of the great things about being an artistic director, is that you choose the work. And so I can honestly say that all the plays I worked on, I loved.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So what do you do now? I know you're a director now, but are there any projects that you are working on right now that you would like to share?
I'm directing a play called Detroit 67 with the graduate students at UCSD, the program that's in coordination, in collaboration with the Globe, the graduate program, MFA. And so that's going into its third week of rehearsal next week. I'm curating a reading and directing a reading for San Diego Repertory Theater in Black Voices reading series. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. It's like busy times, even though it's COVID. But there's a lot of like online performances. So, but those two are the things that I'm working on currently.
That sounds awesome. And definitely, to our audience, definitely check that out. Support local artists. That sounds awesome. And finally, just to end this off, do you have any advice for people who want to start their own theater company? Either like, I know like the pandemic has changed everything, but still, any advice that you have?
Yeah, but the pandemic gives people time to like actually do the work and think about, like I said, we met for a year. So really thinking about, like, from our point of view, we thought, what is a need? Like, there are theater companies already, and all theaters want to do good work. But so what could be our specific mission? What is a need that we could fulfill that we're not seeing? And it turned out for us that was producing female playwrights, because they weren't getting produced a lot when Moxie started. And so figuring out the need, figuring out the mission, and being and taking this time during the pandemic to really research and the kinds of ideas that you want to explore. But one of my mentors said to me, and this is absolutely true, that you cannot have a theater with people together unless you have similar taste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The taste thing, I thought it was like seemed superficial, but it's true. Because if you are interested in American realism and your partner is interested in German expressionism, you're never going to agree on work, right?
Yeah,
yeah. And you don't have to have the exact same taste, but similar taste, I think, is important.
Yeah, I know you had a whole team of co-founders who worked with you. Would you recommend also having other people to go with you on that journey, or?
I for myself personally, because like I said, I like being part of a community. for me, that worked well, and we all we remain close, and I am thankful for those relationships, and I still direct at Moxie. So I think for me that was the best choice, but for some people that might not be the best choice. So my way was only one way, but going back to the advice, we did a lot of research on companies that we admired. So that is also, and then you can see some of them are founded by more than one person, and some of them is just two or one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I know I definitely learned a lot just in this quick conversation. So thank you so much for your time, Delicia. And
thank you.
Yeah, of course. And thank you all. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Katrina and Delicia, for that amazing interview. I learned so much.
Yeah, me too, definitely. I agree in terms of you should always be open to surrounding yourself with a community and what that community has to say when it comes to problem solving, which is all that entrepreneurship is. You really have a hard time solving a problem that affects multiple people without multiple perspectives involved in devising that solution. So speaking of which, for the activity this week, we're going to think about the key quality that every entrepreneur should possess, which is problem solving. In order to exercise this quality, try to think of a problem facing youth in the arts. Once you've realized the problem, try to think of a concise solution. Take however much time you need, and when you are done, go ahead and drop in the chat the problem and the solution that you came up with.
Great. As for opportunities this week, San Diego Junior Theater has opened up their virtual camp and class spring catalog for registration, featuring classes from acting, dancing, singing, even yoga. For more information, go to www.juniortheater.com/classes.
And as a quick shout out, my mom, Kimberly King, is actually teaching a class called Black Voices on Stage, which is going to be very, very interesting. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for her name in that class on the list. It'll be very interesting.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining this week's Creative Youth Studio. We will see you next week for our episode about theatrical design. So tune in then, but that's all for now. Goodbye.
Peace.